grips and boards that we're going to put on top of this. So we're going to actually separate this for this now and come back to the lower chassis later. Lower chassis will sit there. Now we still have all of our pieces open. We're going to have some new things opened up here. You can already tell by the picture that we're going to be mounting quite a bit of things here. So let's just kind of open everything up to make it easier on me. And do I have anything else here that needs to be mounted? Doesn't look like it. Well, we're moving really fast with this kit. I'm pretty surprised. It's very easy to put together, and I can't wait to start programming with it. Watch it roll around the house and actually get to tinker with the coding. If it's anything like the Sumo Bot from Parallax, I'm assuming this is going to be fairly straightforward also. So let's get started here. So these are, looks like we're going to have all of these spacers that we're going to be using. How many do we have here? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the black ones are actually not for those. So I'm going to separate those black ones now so that they're just out of the way. Make it easier on me. Combine all these other ones together. You know, one thing I typically do that I don't do in the video just because it takes too long, but since we have enough time here and there's not that many left, I usually separate all the screws out into different piles and categorize them. Sometimes you can't tell by the picture in the robot kit what's what, and by categorizing them it makes it easy for you to see what's going on. Just like I did here. Just by looking at this I realized that these are going to be the screws that we're going to use for these. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see where they have to go. So there are specific holes that they're requesting us to put these on. I'm going to put them on those holes so you can see what the picture says. I'm not going to screw them in yet. I'm just going to kind of put them there now. And also I'm doing this more for a mental map for myself so I know where these things go, because you know this can all be very confusing as soon as you start putting things together. Now these go right next to each other, and then we have here the final two, which they look like they go over here. So what am I seeing here? This clearly looks like to me this is going to be the spot where the Parallax board is going to be mounted, probably like so, of some sort. And then we're going to have some of these breadboards here possibly mounted. Not quite sure yet because we have a lot more things going on. Let's not get there yet. And then the final pieces are going to be mounted, and these are the handles. So kind of feeling it around here. I don't know if these get mounted crooked, but it looks like these are going to go mounted. Okay, so I look on the outer side. They're going to go mounted on they actually can slide about as you need them to. So that's how it's going to look according to this picture. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these off. So now I know more or less where they all go. And I'm going to start by doing one at a time. I'm going to do one side first. That way I know the other side easily. And again, I'm not going to tighten these in with the screwdriver. I'm just going to kind of do them with my hand and hold my thumb on the other side to make it easy. Now what I did was for this is I chose the prettier side to be the top. I had separated that in the beginning of the video simply because this is what you're going to be seeing most of, and I like my kits to be aesthetically pleasing. So you can see we're moving pretty fast through this, so it's not that hard to actually put these together. Always make sure to check the diagram to make sure you're on the right path and don't just start assuming. With this kit particularly, there are a lot of holes on these chassis, so it looks like it could be easily confused. The nice thing about them is that they already pre-drilled it for you, which is nice, because that way you know you can later change things around. So you can see I did one side. 4. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now. So let's put this there. Whoops. Now I'm not even looking at the manual, I'm just looking at what I did on one side. And one more. These are just, people call these a number of different things. Some people call them spacers, standoffs. All in all, they pretty much serve the same purpose. Difference between standoffs and spacers typically is that the spacers have this, they're usually like this, and the standoffs usually have a screw in them. In this case, these don't, but I'm going to call these standoffs anyways. And according to the actual manual, they do call them standoffs. So, but again, remember, I've seen them used interchangeably, and you can also use a spacer with a long nut and a screw to do the same exact thing in case any of these get lost or you want to do more. In fact, if you go to Home Depot, you can find plenty of spacers and the nuts and everything you need, the right sizes. This is aluminum, so don't be scared to drill into it. If you need to open up bigger holes, you can. It all depends on your project. Now, if you are doing this for the first time, it's your first robot kit, I don't suggest drilling into it right away until you finish building this kit as instructed and getting used to using the kit. Once you get used to using the kit, feel free to drill away. But until that time, do not. The other thing I've noticed, you've got to get a nice drill bit set in order to drill through the aluminum. Make sure that can drill. You don't need a powerful drill. We use a regular Black & Decker cordless drill that we bought at Walmart for a few bucks, and it works just fine for us. So we finished screwing that in. Now we're going to screw in the handles, which are going to go there and there. Again, it's the same screws. I don't see any difference here. But let's make sure that maybe there is, and sure enough there is. So it turns out that we're going to have to use these bigger screws. Those are the ones that actually fit there. Makes all the sense in the world. I'm going to go ahead and put those in first. Let's see how this fits in. So I like to basically screw them in, since this kind of shifts around a lot on you. Screw them in lightly first, then position it. Now it looks like I'm going to need the screwdriver at this point, and now these are larger. So you can use a Parallax one, but I don't like to use that because I don't want to strip them. So I'm just going to use a larger screwdriver for this one, just to kind of satisfy myself. That's screwed in nice and neat, easy, one handle. Now let's do the second one. Again, with your hand only. You don't have to get complicated with the screwdriver yet. Now I'm trying to position these so that they're the same as the other one. This looks about right. It looks like this doesn't have to be necessarily 100% perfect, but just, you know, keep them lined up because those will be picked up. And there you go. So we've gone ahead and done that part now. So we've finished the upper assembly of the chassis. That's step 9. So now it says attaching the chassis plate top. So now this is where we're going to get to plug in both. You get to use both the lower chassis and the upper chassis and plug them in. Plugging in is simple. That's it, we're plugged in. I wish. No, but basically that's essentially it. The only thing that they're requesting from us is that we run the wires out and through the middle of this, through this hole. So let me take this off for a second. And let's get these wires undone from where they are.